A lot's going on this offseason. A lot is not, looking good in regards to the Clippers based upon the reports of Stephen A. Smith and some of the other analysts out there who are all against the Clippers and who say a lot of negative things, naysayers and things like that. But in the Clippers' favor, a lot of things can go well, because right now they are one of the teams that I think that are still, one of the contenders of winning the West. I mean, they still have on paper, they still have one of the best rosters put together like ever in regards to like balance, depth, superstardom, coach, just all the above. They have a little bit of everything that a team wants to win a championship. But as I said before, the Clippers, if they do make any trades, they got to be minor. They can't be major unless they're going to get somebody like a Dame Lillard or somebody like that, because you're going to give away too much of your assets for any other little regular trade when really you can just keep what you have and don't even worry about it. So, if they do go for a regular trade with somebody, to get like a role player, then the common sense should be not to give up much to get a role player, not give up a lot of what you have for one guy who might get injured the same way your main guys do on your team. So it's like, if you're going for somebody small, okay, give up small amounts. Don't give up a chunk of what you have for a small amount. Only time you give up a chunk of what you have on your roster is if you're going after a superstar player like a Damian Lillard or somebody like that. Then you kind of, make some provisions in regards to who you're going to give up or what you're going to give up. But in hindsight, the Clippers really need to almost stay predominantly where they are and don't even make any trades, because there really isn't much out there to give, first of all. Second of all, and what you can trade for and proposal trades out there are some good pieces, but the teams are going to only part ways with some of those pieces that you see in proposal trades that I've talked about and other proposal trades that you might have heard about on other channels. The only way those things are going to happen is if everything aligns right for the other team, which means the other team have to get the better benefit, which means the other team will have to get 2 or 3 players from the Clippers plus future picks when the Clippers get back one guy possibly in a situation and it doesn't even work. So to me, the Clippers have so much depth and so much talent to offer teams. They're going to try to ask for way too much from the Clippers. And this is the reason why I said they really need to just stay set the way they are. The Clippers don't need to break stride, because teams are just going to ask for a Norman Powell and a Zubac and a Marcus Morris. If they ask for 3 players like that, hypothetically, for somebody like, I don't know, Malcolm Brogdon, hypothetically, on the Celtics, hell no. You don't take that. You don't take that bet. You just leave that alone. You're not giving up 3 players granted, they are 3 role players, but you don't give up 3 role players for somebody like him. Hell, I would honestly say it's hard for me to give up those 3 role players, especially Norman Powell. Let's say they added Norman Powell, hypothetically. Let's leave Marcus Morris out. Add Robert Covington and maybe like Amir Coffey off the bench, hypothetically. No, I mean, I'm not giving up those 3 players possibly for Damian Lillard. I mean, I'm not saying I should say this. I'm not saying I wouldn't give him up for Damian Lillard, but I have to scratch my head a little bit and think about it, because that's a lot of talent to give up for one guy who can get injured. Like Damian Lillard has a, injury proneness about him as well. That's a lot giving up one guy. That's a lot. That's a whole lot giving up one guy, for one guy. So it's like, you got to kind of be cautious with stuff like that. You got to be careful. You got to make good decisions. But there is, a situation here brewing that I feel like there might be a couple of Clippers players. I'd say at least 3 Clippers players that you might not see open tonight due to the facts of the trade proposals and things like that. Now, the one name I spoke about, Amir Coffey, he's one of them, because Amir Coffey, of course, we know, I don't know if you've heard, but he's had this gun charge on him, I believe, here lately or recently. I've seen it about maybe a week ago or less. And, it doesn't look good on his part, especially him not having a big contract with the Clippers and him not being a big part of the rotation anyway with all the depth that they have. It's going to make it easier for the Clippers to probably part ways with him. So, unfortunately, with him, don't be surprised if the Clippers do part ways with Amir Coffey. But I do like him. I really do. But it's really just isn't enough room on the roster for him anyway. So, I mean, he's really more or less a guy way down the bench just in case somebody gets hurt. Maybe you could plug him in there. But really, he'd only be a backup for like probably one of the bench players all on its own. So, He's not going to be a backup, I don't think, for Kawhi or anybody like that because, it's not that point in time. They have way more depth now than what they had before. So he's unfortunately one of the players I think that probably won't make the regular season, or you won't see him at the start of the regular season. So don't be surprised. Jason Preston is another one. I was really kind of weary about this one because I like Amir Coffey, but I also like Jason Preston too from what I saw. And I wanted to see more from Jason Preston. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like his talent is a lot higher than what we think it is. It's just that we don't really look at it that way. You know what I'm saying? Too much because he doesn't come off, or he doesn't get enough playing time for us to really watch his game develop and evolve. The same thing I feel about Brandon Boston, but for what I'm hearing, that they're going to find a way to keep Brandon Boston, even if they have to send him back and forth to the G League, at times, just to keep his game up and keep him motivated and ready to go. Even if they have to do that, they're planning on keeping him from what my sources are telling me. So I definitely am glad for that. I like Brandon Boston out of all the young players. He's my favorite. If I had to pick one on the Clippers, now Kobe Brown, this new guy, for what I see from him, he can definitely take that role from Brandon Boston with me. But at the same time, I still like Brandon Boston's skill. I like his upside, and I love the fact that he's very versatile. You know what I'm saying? And now Kobe Brown looks like he's just an athletic guy with a little bit of a jump shot, which I really like that too, because those type of guys you can always plug in real well to any offense, especially if you're trying to get some good productive minutes. A guy to go in there, rebound, play hard, and don't look back. You see what I'm saying? He's definitely got one of those type of mentalities. So shout out to him for that too. But I'm glad they're going to keep Brandon Boston. But I hate to hear that about Jason Preston. And, the last person, of course, I also mentioned his name as well, Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris has been around for the Clippers for the last few years, and he got a $60 million contract with the Clippers. Just wasn't able to live up to the hype of the contract, I don't believe. Not in regards to the playoffs. Regular season, I think he's lived up to the contract, but postseason, I think he's lacked a little bit there, but that doesn't really surprise me. He's been kind of like Jekyll and Hyde for the last couple of years, especially when it comes to the playoffs, and now his injuries are starting to add up. So you got to look at that, and you got to factor that in regards to the Clippers making a decision whether keeping him or letting him go. So with that being said, of course, my sources last year said that Marcus Morris wouldn't be a part of the team or anything like that because he'd be gone by now. But hopefully, maybe they're actually right on this one, because I thought he'd been gone by now. And the Clippers are trying to trade him currently as we speak. It's just they haven't found a good trade package for him as of yet with other teams. But it's definitely coming, because I definitely think the Clippers and Marcus Morris era is definitely over with and have been over for at least about a year or two now. So definitely don't expect him at the beginning of the season. But either way, leave any comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think, and we'll talk about it.